Hey guys. Yeah, I was just live, but it was causing me a lot of problems. So listen, my battery's on 10%. So I'm gonna say what I gotta say and get on out of here and charge my phone. But listen, I just wanna say this. The name of this video is Chase Who's Chasing You. Years ago, I had a mentor. And my mentor told me, she was like, I used to strive in my relationships all the time, in my friendships, until the Lord spoke to me and said, turn around and chase who's chasing you. This is so big. This is so big for those of us who deal with rejection. For me, I was always chasing to be friends with certain kinds of people, whether they like people on the forefront, people on the worship team, people who, you know what I'm saying, who I thought were popular, who I thought were cute, who I thought were something. I was always trying to be up next to men and boys that I liked or that I had set my affections on. And so Jamie told me this, and it did not resonate with me for years. But I learned this valuable thing, to turn around and look who's chasing me. Not that people would be all up under me or trying to be friends with me all the time or something like that, but it was hey Julia, but it was the very fact that I was so focused on being friends with XYZ, or being in a relationship with some man all the time, and I was always chasing and striving and trying to be something I wasn't. I was so unfulfilled in my friendships and my relationships. But when I stopped striving, and when I looked to my left and to my right, and even behind me, and I saw women and men in my life who already loved me, who already accepted me, who already wanted to be in my presence, I was like, dang, I need to chill out. So the other day was National Friendship Day, and I love my friends. They're so precious to me. Y'all, I finally have a ton of black friends, which is something I never thought I would have. I mean, never, because of where I came from. So I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed for the friends I have in my life. And so I wanted to say, chase who's chasing you. Also, nowadays in this purity culture, especially in the body of Christ, when men, women, girls, boys are so obsessed with finding a mate and getting married. Let me tell you a short story. Romantic relationships are not the only relationships you need to be developing. Romantic relationships are not the only relationships that need communication, that need investment, that need longevity. Romantic relationships are not the only relationships where you need to learn somebody's love language, where you need to learn how to talk to somebody, where you need to learn how to do life with somebody. And I think that we have such an emphasis on romance that our other relationships are suffering. And this is how I know they're suffering, because of this canceled toxic culture that we live in. Everyone's talking about that's toxic, cut that off. I don't need that kind of negativity in my life. You don't need this negativity, sis, because I told you the truth. You don't want the truth. That's negativity. But homeboy over here been doing you wrong from day one, but you still down for him. That's not negativity. I don't understand that. What do you mean by that? And so how come women, men, boys and girls can stay in a romantic relationship that's abusive, that's toxic, that's literally hurting them? All they do is cry and weep and moan. But the very moment a friend does something they don't like, they want to cut them off. Ain't that crazy? Does anyone else think that's crazy? I think that's crazy. We've lost it. There was a time in life, in my lifetime, where friendships were of the utmost importance, where we had mottos like, chicks before genitals, bros before hoes. We used to have codes for this stuff, but now we don't have codes no more. We don't have codes. We're worried about the wrong thing. So I just want to say, I've learned to become, flourish, and grow in the person that I am. I've worked through more trauma. I've learned how to communicate. I've learned how to love myself and love others through my friendships. Y'all, I'm 30 years old. I ain't had no man. I had never had a boyfriend. I've never been married. But I'm telling you, I know how to work through a conflict. I might not want to. I probably hate it. Makes me very uncomfortable. But I know how to have a hard conversation. That's because of my friends. That's because of my friends. I saw another meme that says, everybody want to have sex, but don't nobody want to have a hard conversation. Listen, it's immaturity. You know why? Because we don't keep friends around anymore. We are cutting people off. Really? How are you 25, 26, 27, and you ain't got no friends? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are your friends? Now, I understand we go through isolating seasons, but baby, if you got to cut off everybody, you know, everywhere you go, there you are. You know what I'm saying? At some point, baby, maybe they ain't toxic. Maybe you toxic. Ooh, right. And so I want to encourage the brothers and the sisters of Instagram. Listen, look who's chasing you. Learn how to invest in relationships that do not end in sex. Learn how to protect black women who won't have sex with you. Learn how to have a conversation with a man without it being sexual. Learn how to have a relationship that's not romantic. I'm telling you this because it will change you. It will change your outlook. It will change your mindset when it comes to singleness. You will not dread being single as much as you do if you would invest in your relationships, because you will learn the love, the affection, the, you know, maybe not the sex, but so many other things that you're looking to be fulfilled, the intimacy, the connection. You can actually have that in relationships with people. Obviously, with Jesus, right? And now look, you know what they say, I'm happy with Jesus alone. He's all I need. Okay, Jesus is even, listen, Jesus is not even all Jesus needs. Let me tell you a story. Jesus is a part of something called a Trinity. Jesus is community. Jesus is in constant, consistent, intimate relationship with the Father and the Holy Spirit. Jesus is not alone. Okay, he is community. And so because he is community, he designed us for community. And when we are out of community, it's a problem. It's an issue. It becomes an issue. And we're striving in our friendships. We can't even sit up straight for looking for a man. We can't even sit through church without thinking it's some nigga your husband. Why? Because you're not in community. You're trying to sustain off of little to nothing because you don't know how to have a relationship that's not romantic. Like, it's crazy. And I know what I'm talking about because it happened to me. I used to always be like, I want a husband. Where's my husband? I'm alone. My life's a disaster. I don't have anyone. I can't depend on anyone. My friends are like, Ventura, we're here for you. I'm like, no, but you can't hold me in the middle of the night. Let me tell you something. There are times when you do have to walk hand in hand with Jesus through some stuff people can't walk you through. Sure. However, there is more times than not, God will send someone to walk with you through the desert. And I walked through my desert by myself because I was pouting because I didn't have a husband. I'm telling you what happened. I could have had support. I could have had shoulders to cry on. I could have had people to lean on if I had leaned into the relationships and into the community that God had given me. But because I was pouting, God, you took my mom away. I don't have a husband. I'm alone in the world. That don't even make no sense. Let me tell you why it didn't make no sense. Because I have friends. My name is Ventura Kanish Ivory. I have had friends my whole life. I have a lot of friends. I love friends. I'm always making friends. And I have people who cared about me. People who care about me currently. But I was not aware. My eyes were blinded because I thought through teaching that you could only be intimate with your husband. Boy, I'm outside. There's a squirrel going crazy over there. I just want you to know. That's why I looked over there. It's like 18 squirrels in this tree, and they just stressed me out. But, you know what? Even the squirrels got community. Shut up. So, anyway, I'm on here to tell y'all this. Chase who's chasing you. Because you're walking through something right now and you think you're alone and you're isolated and you're upset. I know it's somebody upset like me. I was upset, y'all. I was like, God, why does my brother get to have a wife and I have to walk through everything by myself? God said, Ventura, I created you for community. Your desire for companionship, your desire to be near someone and intimate with people comes from God, because God is about community. Yah, he's all about that. Jehovah is community. He is. That's what he is. He's in constant communion. Constant. All the time. He can't not be. You know what I'm saying? And that's how he created us. But we're neglecting our desire for community because we think marriage is the only important relationship on the planet. Let me tell you something about the American dream. The American dream is not in the Bible. It ain't. Paul is one of the most successful, I guess, Christians on the planet. The man wrote half the Bible. Paul didn't have no wife. Paul was sitting in jail by himself. He had friends. He had men that he was in relationship with. He had women he was in relationship with, who he could count on, who he could depend on, to where when he went to an XYZ city, XYZ continent, he had people to connect with. Paul was single, but he had community. And he needed community. You know what I'm saying? Jesus was single, as far as we know, but he had community. He had people around him. And so we have a false mentality in the world that if we're single, we're alone. But I'm telling you right now, you don't have to be alone. Get in community. Get in community. I'm going to leave y'all with this thought because my battery. Jackie Hill Perry, I was watching something she was talking about. I love her. She's a phenomenal teacher. She's my new favorite teacher. I'm going to go watch something she done said right now that I just said that. Jackie Hill Perry said, she was talking about, because she used to be gay. So she was talking about how a lot of times the LGBTQ community has an issue with Christianity because Christians in America trying to make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, you have to be straight to be a Christian. Okay. That being said, not saying that, you know what I'm saying, I'm not going to get into the politics of that. The point of her saying this is, a lot of times it's presented to, not even just to the LGBTQ plus community, but to everyone, that real Christianity is you grow up, you get married, and you have a family. And if you haven't accomplished those things, that you're not living out what God has intended for your life. And let me tell you a short story that's a lie from the pit of hell. In the Bible, God created the heaven and the earth, okay, in the beginning. Okay, God also created man. And from man, he said, hey, you know what I'm saying? We have all these animals, but there's no helper. There's no helpmeet that's suitable to you. There's no other person on this planet. So we need to create another person. So God created marriage at that time. Also, what Jackie Hill Perry was saying is that we often mistake the fact that God created marriage as the first community, that marriage is the ultimate community. But she said, no, what God was creating was community. So if it were true that everyone needed to be married, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are single people supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Nothing? Just wait around till we can get married? Listen, I done waited a long time. And I decided I'm sick of waiting to get married to have fulfilling relationships. I'm sick of waiting to get married to be vulnerable, to be open, to work through my trauma, to work through my issues. I'm sick of waiting to be married to become who God created me to be. And so if you're sick of that, like me, I'm sick of it. I had to make a decision. Hey, what I'm going to do is chase who's chasing me. Be intentional in my relationships. Invest in the people that God put in my life. And I have never been more fulfilled. Now, I'm getting married. I'm telling y'all that right now. To who? God knows. He's going to drop out the sky like an acorn. I don't know. But what I do know is, until that day comes, I'm so chill. And it's not because... you know what I'm saying? It's not because I spend 8,000 hours a day with Jesus. It's not because I go to fill my time going to church and fill my time serving. I fill my time with people. I fill my time with community. I have friends that mean a lot to me, and I mean a lot to them. And when I need something, they come running. And when they need something, I'm there for them. And we sacrifice, and we love hard, and we have difficult conversations, and we grow. And that's the community that Christ, that's the example that Christ set when he was here, to have community with people. He set a standard. He said, we always hollering about we Christ like we ain't did nothing Christ did. Christ sat at the table with Judas. He broke bread with Judas. He had communion with Judas. He knew Judas wasn't going to act right. He knew it. But he loved him anyway. So maybe maybe next time you catch wind that there's a Judas in your midst, maybe instead of calling them toxic and cutting them off, what if you love them? What if you love them instead? Try that. Try it. I want to know how it goes. So anyway, guys, I'm finna go because my phone finna die. But all I want to say is this: learn to chase who's chasing you. Invest in your relationships and stop waiting on a nigga. I probably shouldn't have said that. Well, the N word, that is. But stop waiting on romance to become the person that God created you to be. Be them now. I love you guys. Y'all are so great and wonderful. If you watch this video, thank you. Why don't you like it? Why don't you leave a comment? Say something. Share it with somebody. And I hope that it helps you. Hey, if it helped you, please tell me. It makes me smile. So just inbox me, talk to me about it. Let's chop it up. How do you feel about purity culture? How do you feel about, have you been waiting? Have you been waiting on marriage? Talk to me about it. I want to hear your struggle, sis, bruh, because hey, we struggling. You know what I'm saying? We struggling. Now if you're a brother, we ain't gonna get too deep into it. Now I'm gonna have to shuffle you on to somebody else, but we, you know what I'm saying, we ready. So anyway, I love you guys. Happy Sunday. Y'all have a good night. Bye.